Hi everybody, this is PsyonicReaver bringing you the third edition of the Team LighT King of the Hill series. We have our very own Louder LighT as the Sky Blue Canadian Protoss here at the 6 o'clock location on Python. And we're going up, and he's going up against the current champion, who is Gretorp-Lzuruha. Kind of sounds like Missouri, but it's Lzuruha. He is the Peach Terran at the 12 o'clock location. So Lzuruha and Louder are actually fighting to see who's going to be the King of the Hill. Zero, forced to step down. Things came up in his life. Started getting a little bit busy. Couldn't keep doing the King of the Hill series. So instead of giving the King of the Hill back to Aerials, because we thought, that's imbalanced. So we're gonna get two new contestants. So I messed up a little bit at the beginning there. I did not mean to say that. So Team LighT, Louder going up against Gretorp for the chance to be the King of the Hill inside of the Team LighT King of the Hill series. So we'll see how this goes. Now, the only spoiler that has been told to me about this game is that it's like an hour and a half long. And that's okay, because an hour and a half long TVP is epic. I don't mind that. Now, if it was an hour and a half long TVT, I would be groaning, but it's a TVP, and that means lots of things are going to be blowing up, dying, etc., etc. We can see Louder, Mr. Probe, already on the way up towards Gretorp's base. Gretorp's not going to be able to finish this wall in time before that probe's going to get the scout. You see the SCV heading over. It could get there. It's going to be close. He might be able to block. Oh, no. The probe blocks the SCV at the last possible second. And it looks like the SCV was just going out to scout and not build a depot, which is kind of interesting. Now he's coming back to defend his fellow peon worker from that harassing probe, to defend him from shenanigans, as I like to call it. Probe unable to reach the SCV. Probably calling shenanigans himself. Uh-oh. SCV manages to finish the barracks without further interference pretty much from that probe. Louder gonna just now pretty much keep that probe alive as long as possible, aka another 3 or 4 seconds before that Marine comes out to kill it. Louder, in the meantime, going for the standard Protoss opening. Now, from here, from the Cybernetics core, is where we might see his build order diverge. He could put down another gateway and go for the basic 2-gate Protoss build, which involves getting goons earlier to help defend against any sort of rushes like FD or anything like that. Or, okay, he's going for the robotics facility. And that's probably for observers. And another very safe build for Protoss to do is, if you want to be able to know exactly what the Terran is up to, but have a slightly smaller Dragoon count, is to go for the robotics facility observatory. And what that's going to allow Louder to do is to spot out exactly what Gretorp is doing. Now, the only downside is if Gretorp decides to go for an FD or any kind of a really hard rush, maybe a Joyo, is since Louder went for the Robo Bay first. Now, granted, observers, because Louder's getting the observers faster, he'll see that coming, he'll be able to prepare for it. But still, you got to be on top of your micro, because 1-gate Dragoon, especially with no range going, can be very dangerous for a Protoss player. Even having observers out, if vultures even get behind your Dragoons, and your Dragoons are trapped between vultures and spider mines and Marines and siege tanks, it's a very dangerous game for Dragoons. And actually, the robotics support going down for Louder, so not even going for the observatory. He's going for a blind Reaver drop here. No observatory bay has been placed down. Even if you were going for a Reaver drop, usually the observatory is the first thing you place down, so you can get that observer out in a timely manner to scout the Terran base. But he's going right for a blind Reaver drop here. Meanwhile, Gretorp looks like he's going for an FD. You can see mines being researched in the machine shop. He's got the siege tank building. 2 siege tanks. So it might actually be a Jojo now because of how many siege tanks are being built. If you're just doing an FD, it usually is only just 1 siege tank. If it's a Jojo, you get 2 or 3 siege tanks, and then you reinforce the vultures while attacking the Protoss player. Gretorp was unable to get the scout. There's a Dragoon blocking the ramp, so unable to get the scout. He's gonna move out. Probe sees those units moving out. 3 SCVs coming along, pretty much just to take hits, do whatever damage they can with their fusion cutters, and even repair that siege tank if it gets down to the nitty gritty. But Gretorp on the way out, reinforcing with another vulture, or maybe not. It's being rallied inside of his base and not towards the Protoss. But we see Gretorp advancing down the middle of the map, heading right towards LighT. LighT just barely has got his Reaver out, and he's going to have to use that to defend. He's going to have to reveal what tech he went for, because if he was to take that Reaver and attack Gretorp, granted, he probably could do a lot of damage to Gretorp's economy, because that engineering base just now only started. If he was to take that Reaver with this attack force coming up now, he would also lose his base, and there's no guarantee that he'd be able to finish off Gretorp before Gretorp finished him off. So now Gretorp moving up, managed to get down 1 mine. Too bad LighT didn't notice that. He would have dropped the Zealot right on top of that, hit all those units. But great job by LighT, able to pick off the tank. And a lot of those Marines with just a couple scarab hits. Reaver is slightly damaged. It's now on its way towards Gretorp's base. LighT only has a few seconds before the engineering bay is finished and before turns start coming in. He needs to get that Reaver in there. He needs to start doing damage as soon as possible. You can see the Reaver on the way up. Another siege tank and a couple vultures trying to press their luck, trying to get in. LighT bringing the Dragoon over, trying to snipe that vulture. Vulture at 4 HP. Dragoon manages to barely survive the encounter. Oh, Spider-Man going to finally finish him off now. A siege tank and a couple of SCVs trying to press their advantage. LighT coming in with the Zealot and the Reaver. 2 siege tanks and a couple of vultures defending. A couple turrets going up as well. Again, LighT has to do damage with this Reaver if he has any hopes of staying in the game, because his economy pushed for the Reaver. If he does not do any damage, his economy is pretty much going to be far inferior to Gretorp, and it looks like LighT is not going to be able to do anything. He's not even going to try to harass these supply depots or anything. Meanwhile, LighT has pushed out the attack in his base with a second Reaver, able to push out the siege tank and a few SCVs. Ouch, LighT loses his Reaver. There was a Spider-Man at the bottom of this ramp here, and LighT dropped his Reaver at first instead of the Zealot, and that Reaver took the hit, and then those 2 siege tanks and that vulture able to get in a finishing blow on that Reaver, able to finish it off. So LighT not checking for Spider-Mines, but dropping his Zealot first, and it's always a good idea to drop the Zealot first, even when you know there's enemy forces nearby to take the hits. LighT coming in, picking up his second Reaver. He's got to do damage. He's got to do damage to Gretorp's economy, or he is going to be in a world of hurt here. You can see Gretorp, good SCV saturation here. LighT, good probe saturation as well, but again, he had to sacrifice a little bit more of his economy to get those really fast Reavers. You can see that in his army count. Look how many Dragoons he has. He only has 3 Dragoons trying to stave off his attack. Gretorp now has siege tanks. He's actually going to start doing a slow push into LighT's base. LighT has no natural expansion, and Gretorp is going to make sure it stays that way. Dragoon being dropped up to take the hit. Reaver being dropped as well. Manages to get a hit on that siege tank and kill a vulture in the process. I don't think LighT is going to be able to repeat the trick, though. Turret is now going to be finished, and the siege tank is getting repaired. LighT needs to get a couple of Zealots out here, maybe with some just to take the damage. Building lots of Dragoons, trying to get his Dragoon count up. And you can see Gretorp just slowly pushing himself in. And Gretorp better be careful. He doesn't want to overextend his lines here. He needs to be very careful how he pushes in here, because a well-placed Zealot running in between those Spider Mines will hurt him quite a bit. Now you can see Gretorp slowly pushing in. Siege tank a little bit too close to the ledge there. He's going to get sniped by that Dragoon up on the high ground. Unless those Siege tank shift fire, I don't think they're going to be able to kill that Dragoon in time. Siege tank will go down. Shuttle now coming in, trying to see what kind of units they can snipe. Now LighT is going to just be playing the harassing game. He's going to try to force Gretorp to split his attention to other places. He's going to pretty much make him multitask. And while he's busy making Gretorp multitask his main base, that's when he's going to try to press his luck. And you can see Gretorp messed up already. 1 siege tank ran right into the Dragoon fire. And while LighT is busy with Gretorp and his main base picking off units, siege tanks, what have you, that siege tank might get picked off. Nope, gets blocked. And now you can see Gretorp not paying attention to his army here. Gets getting picked off by LighT's forces. LighT went in and attacked, forced those units to attack him while he's up the ramp, and Gretorp losing quite a bit of his forces there. He's not going to be able to hold this anymore, even with 1 vulture, 1 siege tank, and quite a a few